Thank you.
Well, here we are once again, leaving the dock at Norwich, Connecticut, our home marina for the summer, and heading out. If you've watched our videos before, you've seen this shot a million times probably, but it takes us a while to get everything set up and going. This is late for us to be still cruising, but we've had some issues, some health issues, which I'll explain. But the ducks, which were little furry balls a couple months ago, have all grown up now and are deciding to get right in front of the boat. Don't worry, we don't run anybody down. Everything's fine. Nice day. This is a Labor Day weekend, and we're going to go to Mystic, Connecticut, which is not a long cruise at all for us. Just down the Thames River, 12 miles. Going to get some gas, some fuel, which we do need. Turns out that's going to cost us $560, but that's okay. We needed fuel, so you got to have it. So off we go. We've luckily got a very nice day, Labor Day weekend, to take a little short cruise. And 12 miles later, we're approaching the Gold Star Bridge. That's I-95 down there in the distance, that bridge. And we're just putting along as we usually do. This trip, we don't usually see any big boats this far north of the bridge, but this time coming across a rather large self-powered barge, which is being assisted by two tugs. You can see it at screen left there. And we are going to give him a lot of room. Just give him a nice port-to-port pass and move on down below and get some gas below the bridge, and then make a left into Fisher's Island Sound, go about 6-7 miles, and turn into the Mystic River, which is where we're going today. And in we go. Now the camera is going to slip out of focus here because it's old, and it has since been retired and replaced with another, we hope, better camera. But you can get an idea. This is the entrance to the Mystic River in Fisher's Island Sound. And it's not a long ride. It's probably 3 miles or 4 miles. But those channel markers are kind of important down here because the water gets kind of shallow if you get too far out of there. But the camera's going to straighten itself out in a minute, and you'll be able to get a good idea of what the Mystic River looks like. If you're not from around here, that is, and have been there 100 times. I know we have, but it's always a nice cruise. We got our focus back here, so we can see this is where the river, Mystic River, actually opens into the Sound, and it is solid boats, which you'll see a little bit later. Along this part of the river, there's a big marina on the left, and then some famous lobster places where you can tie up. I wouldn't, but you can. I'd rather go by car. And more marinas. And on screen right is the beginning of one of the largest mooring fields, probably is the largest in Connecticut, I would guess. Hundreds and hundreds of boats between here and Mystic Village. And a number of them out today. It's a beautiful day, holiday weekend. Why not? Obviously this is a speed controlled area, so gotta take it easy. Actually, when you're in areas this interesting and really pretty, why would you want to go fast? You can see a number of people coming down the river, going out. We're just going to go as far as Mystic Seaport Museum, where we're members, and we have a slip for tonight. But we got to go past a couple of bridges to get there. And 700 or 800 boats all at their moorings. Anyway, we eventually get there, and we have to open what they call the Mystic Highway Bridge, which is Main Street in Mystic. They open this at 40 minutes past each hour for not very long. I mean, they're not going to close the bridge on a boat, but they sure are prompt opening and closing it, because there are a lot of people in Mystic walking, driving their cars through the village. You can see a few boats waiting to come downriver. Those of us waiting to go up kind of jumped the bridge and got in there pretty quickly, but you can see some really lovely homes in Mystic on the left. And the right is kind of commercial, waterfront, kind of touristy commercial, but very nice. Nice place to stroll. Lots of places to eat. That sailboat you see on our port side coming downriver is a tour boat. They take people out a couple times a day down the river where we just came from, and then they turn around and bring them back up. I don't think they put the sails up on that boat. And a big cruiser who's up here. Now the river ends just past the museum, which is ahead on our right, where we're going to be. You can't go too much further than that. Oh, maybe 400, 500 yards, and then it gets kind of thin, water-wise. Get the camera to straighten out here, so we can. There we go. A little better. But you got to go slow in here. A lot of people using the water, and it's everybody's river, so. But we finally contacted them by radio, and we got put into a slip, which turned out, as you're about to see, be a very nice place to spend an evening. Perfect. The next morning we had to play the opposite game and go downriver. And while we didn't have to contend with it coming up because it was open, there's a railroad bridge, which you'll see in a minute, which is closed. And some boats can make it, but I can't. Not even a little. But most of the people who keep their boats up here above the railroad bridge are aware of it. There's no schedule. It's open all the time, except when a train is coming. In our case, it was going to be 2 trains. But you can see the boats. There are a lot of them. And some really beautiful ones, which I would have out if they belonged to me today, but it's not my business. So down we go following the sailboat. You'll hear in the background Francis and I chattering back and forth about boats and the river and the bridge and some friends we have that dock their boat here. Although we don't know where at this point, but they are here someplace. Also a lot of kayakers in the water. Gotta watch out for them. Which we do. Not really a problem. Oh, there's the bridge. You know, it's a railroad bridge, so you can always hope a train is going to flash by and they're going to open it. We eventually radioed the bridge on channel 13, and his equipment was so poor you really couldn't understand him responding to us. But we did get, there are 2 trains coming, so all those folks who are whizzing from Boston to New York, or in one case from New York to Boston, get to see us out on the river, and we get to see them slipping by. And you see a boat coming out on the left. That's a wood boat, restored wood boat. Very nice. And he does tours of the Mystic River. And he's going to make it under that bridge, just. So we don't see him until later in the cruise, when he's turning, coming back up the river. But there are a number of tour boats here on the river. Lots of visitors from New York and Rhode Island.
Not that I've seen so far.
It's a really popular tourist stop.
I don't know if I can go through it or not.
Oh, I can't go through, so don't talk about it. We get down here pretty soon. This sailboat in front of us has stopped. But a boat that size, it's pretty hard to hold it in the river. We got a little bit of current and a little bit of wind right on our nose. So, you know, you drift around and drift around and
No, that's 40, right? That bridge is 40.
Oh.
This bridge is whenever
see what happens.
Oh, this is down by Fort Rachel.
But as we get down here a little bit further,
So I'm slowing down anyway.
you can see that the only thing we can really do is just go in a circle. The river is wide here. I mean, wide in comparison to what it is down below. Plenty of room for us to spin around or turn, which we do. There goes a sailboat. He's going to do the same thing. He really doesn't have any choice. It's kind of difficult to hold yourself in the river here without moving. I mean, we did stop a couple times, but it's almost easier just to turn.
Wow, some beautiful wooden sailboats here.
Yeah.
Take a look at
You see them?
This area is
all the big boats.
Oh, man. And those condos right on the water?
Yeah.
Oh. Nice.
So down we go at idle speed.
Yeah, it looks a little lean for us.
Yeah.
We've actually stopped at that marina on our right in previous years. But one of the occupants of that marina with a really big sailboat is going to come out and join the dance we're doing out here. He's going to back out and then find that all he can do is turn in circles as well. No problem. Glad to have company, I guess. No sign that those trains are coming yet. They do eventually, but... And folks gone fishing, heading out. You've got to look all around when you're running a boat in this river. There are targets everywhere.
Guess I'll do a big turn.
And you can see
Everybody else is doing.
this is just one of the marinas. It's just south of the village. It's in the village of Mystic. Kind of within walking distance.
Now, what marina are Carol and Rob
I
at?
don't really
Beautiful
know.
clouds today.
I thought it was on the... that
And the weather
island
held
that
for the
was
rest of the trip too, so
developing.
it was really,
Mason.
Yeah.
really nice.
Maybe it is. I don't know. You know, I
I don't know what we were talking
area.
about, but we seem to be able to chatter anywhere. So I'd hold it right here for a while, but you know the wind's catching us from the back and gonna turn us anyway, so might as well just do it.
Oh, that's a nice place to rest.
Right where I want to go.
Yeah, right. Cute.
We got a kayaker there off our port bow who I thought was gonna paddle right out in front of us, but turns out didn't. I don't think it's necessary to blow the horn or wave. Just need to be careful. One more turn.
Right?
Yeah.
Turns out there were about 5 more turns in the river before we got out of here, but you know, on a beautiful day like this, you're on the boat,
She sees me.
why not?
You think you're not big enough to see?
Yeah. Well, it looks
But
like
eventually
we're
a
in the dam
train
down
whizzed
there.
down going south to New York,
Big sailboats.
and then shortly thereafter one flew by going towards Boston,
That guy must have come out from the marina.
and the bridge slowly opened
I'll
and
tell you,
we
I'd stay in there until the bridge.
headed
opens.
downriver.
Right out of here. Right here.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
When we get to Fisher's Island Sound, we make a right turn. It's going west and head up to Thames River. I don't know why we shot this. It's just like if you have a boat, you've seen all this before. Looking at your instruments. I don't know why, but it was really pleasant up there. It was not hot, cool. Everything was running the way it was supposed to.
Hi, honey.
Eventually we get to the
You okay?
Twin Mohegan Sun Towers. Now this is just about 2 miles south of our home base in Norwich. So once you see these, you got to navigate a couple of turns and you're home. Really nice day to cruise.
Wow, it's still all boarded up over there.
And if we're lucky, we'll get to cruise a little bit more before the end of the season.
That looks like a
Sure
sweet
hope
group.
so.